This is Two Millennials Talk. I'm Keon Rose.
I'm Russell Stroud. You got me in a little swallow. Why'd you do that?
Because I don't like you very much.
Sorry. Dadgummit.
Also, this song is new. I hate it.
I'm sorry. It's it's because we're here now, different, studio and all that crap. So I didn't have time to, set up a new stop site, new beds and all that stuff. So we're kind of stuck with an already existing bed and everything for a very esteemed show person, Jill Ann Collins. She does the Art Beat of Chattanooga every Thursday here on Nooga Radio AM 1240. So a plug to her. She's really good.
She is really good. You should check her out. Also, she knows lots about art.
She knows way more about art than I could ever hope to, which makes me extremely jealous and also kind of angry.
Fair enough. I'm just saying I don't like change very much, so I'm upset.
Well, I'm sorry. This is a changey business. Radio's not the kind of business you can get into and just be like, nothing's going to change ever.
I'm out. I'm done.
Darn, after all this work I put into you.
Right.
I put all this work into you, and then you just quit.
Just walk away.
Man.
Not convenient for me anymore. I'm out.
And man, someone else to do the podcast with. I claim ownership of the brand, by the way, because I did all the work.
Fair enough. You know what? I'm not going to fight you on that one.
I worked the hardest on this, so I think I get it.
I'm going to leave you to have Two Millennials Talk with one millennial next week.
I'll just talk over myself. I'll interrupt myself with my jokes.
What you can do is you can play your newscast from earlier in the day and then comment on your newscast while you listen to your newscast.
Oh, that's a dang good idea. Actually, I should do that. See, this is why you're the other millennial. It's because you come up with good ideas.
You know what? That compliment saved it. I come back from retirement.
Well, I guess I have to refill out these forms then. Fine, whatever. You're rehired. So did you see, we were just watching the Ghost in the Shell trailer, which has come out apparently in theaters, real theaters, not a direct-to-video movie, but it's a real movie in real theaters.
Yep, and it's got a real rating on Real Rotten Tomatoes.
It's actually gone down since the last time.
Really?
53%. It was 57 about, 3 hours ago? Now it's 53.
Wow.
And, it's not released for wide audiences as far as I know, so this is like early reviewers and people have just gone to see it. And, it might be driven down by people who just don't like it,
Right. And I also see this on Rotten Tomatoes with movies that have a fairly high profile, that once the early reviews are rotten, it just kind of snowballs.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool to stamp rotten on this thing now that maybe we sort of don't like, but then you just have some movie sitting at like 30%. That's maybe not that bad.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing to ever happen, but it's definitely pretty bad.
But yeah. But we were skeptical from the trailer. So
yes, I was skeptical from the very first shot. I was skeptical from hearing that Scarlett Johansson or Johansson, whatever, was going to be the Major Makoto Kusanagi. I know it's Kusanagi. I can remember the first name
either.
It's something Oto, some Japanese name. But not because she's white. That didn't really bother me because it's an American movie. Like someone pointed out that in Old Boy, when they remade Old Boy, no one really cared that they recast it with white people. I mean, who cares? It's an American remake. American people make sense. But Ghost in the Shell is a little bit different because it is, patently Japanese. If that makes any sense, like it's a very Japanese movie.
Right. There's a lot of Japanese culture, and I think just like a lot of Japanese social references that if you've watched a decent amount of Japanese anime, either movies or TV.
What, not the Mexican anime?
Oh no, absolutely not. Just, it's unfortunate, but they don't. But I like when you watch a decent amount of anime movies or TV, like not even a ton, just you start to pick up on, okay, this is culturally and socially what's different from America.
Right.
So then if you were to make a Ghost in the Shell movie, to me, and it's something that I've always kind of harped on, because I did kind of have a problem with Scarlett Johansson being white and playing a character in Japan, in large part because the story still happens in Japan.
Oh, I didn't actually know. Well, yeah, it has to because it's Tokyo. So
yeah,
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do a story and say, okay, it's for American audiences, I say like just sort of reformat the story and make it more inherently American.
Sure.
If that's what you're gonna do, don't do it halfway. Like go all the way in and do it.
Yeah.
So I did kind of have a problem with that, but I saw the trailer and I was like, they're just saying things that sound really cool and sort of cliche in like modern movie cinema language. Like, oh, they what was the one quote? They didn't save your life, they stole it.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
A, over dramatic, and B, like a completely different story than the one that you grew up watching if you watched Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, if you to give some backstory on like the actual real Ghost in the Shell, not the American bad Ghost in the Shell. I presume bad. I haven't actually seen it. Seen the movie anyway, the full length thing. I might watch it on DVD or something. I believe it's Makoto, but anyway, Major Kusanagi, she is a major because she fought in World War III, which is a thing. She's been given a really enhanced cyborg body, which is ridiculously enhanced, and it's like almost I think she's entirely synthetic, aside from her mind and only most of it. So that's the only thing that's really human about her is most of her brain. And she's struggling with a lot of identity issues. She's struggling with, like, am I even human anymore? What am I? All these different things. And it's really interesting because she's going through this, crime story, cyber crime story set in 1990, written in 1995 to give some for what it's like.
Right.
But it's really well done. And it's got this sort of crime story vibe, and it's also got the identity issues vibe, and it's got the just really good animation. The animation is constantly solid. And one thing I noticed, I just want to bring up real quick, there's a shot in the anime or the movie that I've always liked. It's her sitting on her bed, and you're seeing her profile, and outside her bedroom window, you're seeing the cityscape of Tokyo. And it's really cool looking because it's really bright, it's sort of vibrant looking, and it looks really dreamy. In the movie, they show the same shot in the trailer, and I don't know if it's meant to be the same shot or just reminiscent of it, but it's not nearly as good looking because it looks plastic, it looks CG, and I wish they wouldn't do that, but what can you do?
Yeah, and movie budgets and stuff, like CG is just going to be sort of a part of what this is, especially if you're going to do a sci-fi movie from like a big budget production company. We're just going to see massive amounts of CG, but I think there's a way to institute that without anything looking particularly artificial in that way. Because like in the story, it's made obvious to you she's the thing that's artificial in the story,
right?
And I think you sort of lose something when everything looks unreal.
Yeah, and they've added that extra plot. That's a good point too. Is they added that extra plot where it's like they stole you, they stole your soul from you or whatever the heck. That's not at all in the anime.
No,
she's loyal to the system, if that makes any sense. Like she's not like rebellious. There's no rebellion faction.
Right. Like the conspiracy is sort of secondary anyway in the story. It plays second fiddle to the idea that if you are part machine, how much of your memories are yours and how much of you is actually you. Right. And if you are someone who isn't synthetic, right? Like how real can you consider that person to be, and how quote unquote human could you consider that person to be? Like all of that stuff, that was the cool stuff of the story. And like I watched the trailer, I didn't see any of that in there. That's the best part.
And so I was thinking like through the fairness filter, which I guess has been slammed into me through being for all this time. Is like, well, maybe, the trailers are just misleading because they always are with American movies. Maybe that's it. But the Rotten Tomatoes rating being 53% after the movie comes out tells me that that's probably not the case. And that worries me.
Right. And so I'm a little worried because I don't know. I want to see it.
I do want to see it, yes.
My question is like, when do I just wait for it to come out on DVD?
Yeah.
Or do I pay more money and go to the theater and see it? I don't know. Maybe I'll catch it on like a Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
When the ticket prices are lower.
Matinee night. I have a friend who can get me into one of the theaters for a lower price than normal. So maybe I'll Maybe I'll do that at some point, but I really don't feel like paying. Was it $8 these days for a movie ticket?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's really worth $8 at this point. If it is, then I'll feel good about it. Like Interstellar, I could watch 1,000 times, pay $8 for it, have no problem.
Yeah, which I did. I watched. I went to theaters to watch Interstellar twice.
Yeah,
and I also watched Inception twice. Like it's like movies that I greatly enjoy. I don't mind paying more money for.
Yeah, I've seen so many movies. Like if you count the amount of times I've seen movies more than once, that's more than the amount of movies I've seen. You know what I mean? Like, gosh. I've watched Inception like 8,000 times. I watched Interstellar, I think 2 or 3 times. I watched Star Wars, the new Star Wars, I think 4 times.
Oh, really?
Just going with various people. I'm like, oh, you have to see it. Oh, you have to see it. Oh, you have, you know.
That's true.
I saw Rogue One twice. I know that for a fact.
Between me and my brother, we watched Mad Max Fury Road like 7 times.
That's another one. Yeah. Yeah, I watched Mad Max with my dad. I watched it with my sister. I watched it with some friends of mine, and I watched it with another friend of mine. So I've watched it quite a few times.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like if a movie's really good, like paying full price for it at the theater is not the problem. When a movie is awful, I don't even want to pay for it once. Like that's where my conundrum is when the movie's on the line and I'm like,
I feel bad when I go to a movie and I pay money for it and I don't like it. I'm like, man, like that's 2 hours of my life I can't get back that I spent money for them to steal.
Right. Like the movie that when you go to the theater, you feel insulted because you wouldn't have watched it for free.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, man, I hate that movie. Whatever movie that is.
I don't think I've been to one of those movies in a really long time. Last one I can think of was that Seth Rogen, James Franco comedy where the world was ending.
I know which one you're talking about.
I think it's just called World's End, but I watched it and I was angry at the end of it. I was like, I spent money on this. I can't believe it.
Oh man, I'm a big comic book fan. I'm a big Green Lantern fan specifically.
Oh no.
Yeah, I went to go see the Green Lantern movie and it hurt my heart.
I waited for pay-per-view for that one.
Like if I had the choice, if there was a way that I could unwatch that movie so that I wouldn't know how you could ruin basically my favorite comic book character. I paid full price for Green Lantern and I was like, yeah, this is
That movie is why I have not seen Deadpool. Like seriously.
Really?
Yes, like I've not seen Deadpool because everyone tells me it's great and I believe them. But I don't want to see it because I hate Ryan Reynolds so much after Green Lantern.
Yeah, I don't hold it against him. I watched Deadpool. Deadpool's fun. It was good.
I kept hearing it was like Reddit the movie though, so that put me off.
I mean, there is a little bit of that, but in fairness, Deadpool's comic has become Reddit the comic. So I mean,
Reddit pool.
Basically, it's become that. So
yeah, I can't like freaking Reddit just makes me so upset sometimes. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah,
just the people is what does it.
When I'm on Reddit, the things that are great about Reddit when people obsessively are fans about things. So like I'll go on like the NBA subreddit and people will obsessively pull up like stats that don't mean anything to anybody except them. Right. And it's interesting. It's like really fascinating. But then like you get into the comments and some of the jokes are just dumb. Like just the stupidest. And you know, because Reddit has the whole karma system, people sort of base their comments on just I'm going to tell a joke that Reddit likes so that I get upvoted a ton. And I'm like, why not just say what you're going to say and then don't worry about it?
And see, this is why, you know, the various anonymous image boards I go on, you know, I like them so much better because there's none of that.
Right.
Like you'll get ridiculed constantly for trying to get responses. If you say something just to elicit a response, all the responses will just be, you're an idiot.
And even then, it's you get responses. Like so it's something you can actually say something back to. Like if you go on a board on Reddit and there's a prevailing popular opinion on that board and you disagree.
Oh boy.
People downvote you, which to me is not a problem. I don't worry about it, but it's like, okay, you're downvoting me, but you're not trying to start a conversation with me. So I don't even know what it is that you hate. And we're not having a discussion. This is a pointless exercise,
right?
In me just saying things that you like.
And you know, every town, by the way, apparently has a Reddit. I found out Chattanooga has one.
Yeah, I've been on Chattanooga's for a while.
It's decent, isn't it?
It is pretty decent.
but I still don't like it.
I think, and well, because it does follow the sort of rule of Reddit, which is the smaller the community, the better.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
like really small communities, like I grew up playing Advance Wars on the Nintendo Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. The Advance Wars subreddit is really cool because there's only like 12 of us. Like, there's not a ton of people there.
Yeah.
But then you go to like a giant subreddit like jokes.
Right, r/funny.
Yeah. And they're awful. They're all bad. Like if you join Reddit, it's your prerogative. But if you do, like, unsubscribe from just like most of the major ones that they have as the defaults.
Oh yeah. That was the first thing I did. Is like, I don't want funny. I don't want this. I'm subscribed to like news, and I think that's the only default one.
Same here.
Yeah, because I do like news, being in the business and everything, but I get really ticked off at some of the ones they auto-subscribe you to. It just drives me nuts.
It took them forever, by the way, to unsubscribe you. Like, they used to auto-subscribe you to our atheism.
Yeah.
And it was just like, really, this is your base here? And of course, our atheism is filled with 12-year-olds.
Right. I'm so cool.
Yeah, I'm edgy because I no longer believe in Christ. It's like, okay, cool.
Well, it's not just Christ, it's like everything. So it's like
get out, buddy.
Like, I can almost understand that, but I don't get not believing in anything.
But like they say Christ, but like specifically, they almost always go after Christians.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's not like, oh, hey, I don't believe in anything, I'm an atheist, which I could respect as a stance if that's what you want. But like, to just go, oh, I don't believe in anything, so I specifically hate this Christian denomination, this specific religious denomination out of all the religions on earth. And like, if you think that Christianity is somehow not logical, like, you can find far more logical ones. Really? Come on, man.
I don't understand like why they attack that, but they don't go after Buddhists, because there are a lot more Buddhists. Tons more Buddhists. Like,
way more Muslims too.
Yeah, there actually are.
They're the biggest religious population on earth.
Man, it's like atheism is almost politically driven or something.
Yeah,
interesting.
Funny how that works.
Isn't that funny?
It's fascinating.
It's like Nigel Farage, not to call him out, but Nigel Farage, when he left the EU, isn't it funny? You all laughed at me.
Like, no grace and victory whatsoever.
No whatsoever. And when you've driven a country to make a decision, I think you get to do that. No matter what the decision is, you get to gloat, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a tad. So, do you have anything for the agenda, Keon?
Well, I did have one story that I thought was interesting, which the Nintendo Switch, 500,000
in
sales in Japan.
That's not good.
No, faster than the PS4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I thought you meant they just now hit 500,000. That's not good.
They reached 500,000 faster than the PS4 did when it got released.
Nice.
And, no, I think they're at 1.5 million.
Okay, that's good.
So they're on pace to do really well.
And they're what, 2 months in to release, I think?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. That's good. Good numbers.
So I'm interested in seeing like what other exclusives the Switch is going to have. Because I mean, Zelda looks great, but I would like to see more. It's
actually not an exclusive though, because it's also on the Wii U.
That's true.
So technically, if you want to make it's like Twilight Princess. It's on the GameCube, but it's a Wii game.
Yeah.
Even though I had it for the GameCube. It was the only thing I played it on until like 2007.
Yeah, I had it for the GameCube as well. I didn't have any good games for the Wii when I got it.
I actually did. I had Red Steel, and that was a lot of fun.
Was it?
Red Steel was really good, yeah.
Man, I wanted to play it.
So good. It was not as good as the E3 trailers made it look, but it was really fun.
Right, and I think that's what ended up happening to me. Because the E3 trailers made it look like one thing, and then it wasn't. Yeah. And I think I got caught up in the backlash with everybody else. And
they made it look like the sword fights are going to be like one-to-one motion, because I think they had the Wii Motion Plus sort of like envisioned for the future.
Right.
And that's not at all how it was. But had they released it with the Wii Motion Plus, like had the Wii Motion Plus been a thing when the Wii came out, Red Steel would have been the perfect game. But it wasn't, so, whatever. But it's still a really good game. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
12-year-old me really loved it.
I'm just saying I didn't have any good games for the Wii because I don't know why. I think I just kept playing my GameCube is really what it was. There's just no reason for me to stop playing it. Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games in life. That entire trilogy of games. And so like there was never any need for me to really play. And the third game of Metroid Prime was like the weakest for sure. So I didn't even really.
And that's the only one I had actually.
Yeah.
I was like, Prime, Metroid Prime is not that good actually, because that was the only one I played. Then I got the first one. I was like, oh man,
yeah,
Metroid Prime's great.
And Other M is awful. So
Other M's just a joke. It's not even a Metroid game.
No, I refuse. Just straight up refuse to add it. It's not canon. I don't want it.
It's like Mass Effect Andromeda. It's not really.
Yeah, what are you talking about? It's not here.
It's not a real game.
We don't want this.
It was a joke the whole time. That's what BioWare should say.
Yeah, right. You were dreaming all along.
Made you pay $60 for a good old practical joke.
Oh, this is a little aggressive for another show. No, this
just a tad bit aggressive. I'm not sure. She wants to change it too, but we just haven't gotten around to that. I'm lazy, I guess.
It makes me feel like I'm in Rome.
That's not a bad place. Well, bad place for you. That's not a bad place for me.
Not a bad place for you, as we discussed before. You're listening to Two Millennials Talk on AM 1240 and NoogaRadio.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
There's a reason why Alliance Physical Therapy is a choice of professionals and those who care about first-class, top-notch service and treatment. Because at Alliance Physical Therapy of Chattanooga, we don't just treat the symptoms in your body. Whether you're suffering from stiffness, muscle spasms, back pain, chronic headaches every day, stress of life demanding more and more of you, Alliance Physical Therapy takes a holistic approach to healing mind, body, and soul. Alliance Physical Therapy with a location near you and 9 others in the Chattanooga area. If you don't have a doctor or if your physician's plan for chronic pain is not working, Alliance Physical Therapy will help. Visit Alliance Physical Therapy on the web at nopainpt.com. That's nopainpt.com. Alliance Physical Therapy.
Oh, he's got bad breath. And once he slobbered. But your dog's teeth are important for his health. The canine dentist at Wolf Fever has an offer. Listen, ultrasonic cleaning, polishing, x-rays, only $135. Ordinarily, you'd pay $175. For a few days, pay only $135. And get $115 in freebies as a thank you. Grooming, boarding at the inn at Wolf Fever. Act this week. Use anytime this year. Floss and rinse now. 344-1913. WolfTeaver.com.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? If not, talk to Covenant Group Insurance, especially if you like helping people. Call and learn how you can work for yourself, but not by yourself. Intense but free training, plus a fantastic lead program, plus office support equals your success, your prosperity. Gross at least $75,000 your first year selling insurance. Call Steve or Jada for a confidential interview. That's 855-8484. Maybe the most important call you make all year.
Wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal.
Now you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere streaming live at NoogaRadio.com. That's NoogaRadio.com.
Hot News Talk 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240.
AM 1240 Nooga Radio News. Russell Stroud reporting. Crime wave Chattanooga. 3 people have been shot in the last 24 hours. A 16-year-old was slaughtered in a car, along with a 20-year-old who was badly injured, rushed to the hospital. That happening on Clio Avenue. On East Main Street, the police say that 30-year-old Daniel Smiley drove himself to the hospital after he had been shot. In both of these cases, the gunman is on the loose. Broken glass and missing cash at a restaurant, a cake shop ransacked, and untold damage and vandalism. After a bunch of business burglaries, 2 juveniles have been arrested on Highway 58. 2 young people accused of thievery have been sent to the juvenile detention center, charged with 4 counts each of felony burglary and vandalism. $5.3 million. That's how much it's going to cost to repair the schools in our area. New telephone systems, new intercom systems, new roofs, new HVAC, you name it, it's being put in. Bad weather is heading our way tonight. Keep it tuned to Nooga Radio AM 1240 and NoogaRadio.com for more updates. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Nooga Radio News. Be sure to like us on Facebook and get us on the TuneIn Radio app on your phone.
Expect partly sunny, breezy, and warm weather out there through your afternoon. Highs of around 80. Tonight, scattered showers and storms will march in from the west. Some of those locally strong, overnight lows into the upper 50s. Friday looking drier, highs closer to 70. Lots of sunshine and great looking weather for the weekend. Come to Larry's Buffet in Trenton for some of the finest homestyle cooking around. Open Thursdays through Sundays. Larry also offers catering. That's Larry's Restaurant, just off I-59 in Trenton. And I'm Storm Machine 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ward.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
This is Two Millennials Talk. It's Sparta. I'm Keon Rose.
I am Russell Staudius. Russell Staudius.
Russell of Stroud.
Stroudsher. That's actually a place.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is in England. I probably have family there.
Probably.
Yeah, that's how it goes. If you're European, you have that kind of baggage. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you don't have headphones on, so you didn't hear just now. There's like an applause thing at the end of the bumper.
Yeah.
That just caught me off guard.
Well, I've heard the bumper a million times.
Okay.
I produced Jill's show, so.
But wow, it caught me off guard. And I was like, I don't know what to do now. It's like this. Do we have an in-studio audience? Where are they?
Two Millennials Talk is filmed in front of a live studio audience at Universal Studios Orlando. We should go to Universal Studios and just record a podcast so we can say that it was recorded at Universal Studios.
Yeah, I feel like that, and that way we would qualify for one of the great sitcoms of the 1990s because that's what it took.
Yeah, that was it. That's the only requirement. Home Improvement was my favorite, so yeah, it was there. Yeah, I got it in the bag.
Cosby Show.
That was 90s. It was more 80s.
80s, but it bled into the 90s.
Did
and
it?
then of course, like the reruns went well into the 90s. It never stopped. Like there's a group of people that in the 90s sort of grew up on the Cosby Show. But I think the first season of the Cosby Show was like 88.
Oh, okay. It's later than I thought it was.
Yeah, it was either 87 or 88.
I didn't see the Cosby Show until I was like 10, so I don't know how that worked out. I mean, to put it in perspective, I was born in 95 and I was basically brought up on Home Improvement reruns. So I don't know why, but that's how it worked out.
Yeah. Where were the Cosby Show reruns? I always they were on Nick at Night or something like that.
Yeah, that's weird though, because that's where I watched Home Improvement. I know they were on BET for a while because I watched them there along with Everybody Hates Chris. But I mean, of course they're on BET, but
which is crazy because it was on Nickelodeon first.
Yeah, it's funny though because I watch BET quite a lot and I don't really think about how odd that is, but I'm constantly watching all these shows on BET and I'm like, oh yeah. Huh.
I mean, I don't know if it's that odd when you consider, and this is a point of not anger, but at least moderate grumpiness from pretty much every black person that I know.
Oh yeah.
That the CEO of BET is actually white.
Oh really?
Yeah. So on some level, people are just really?
I mean, CEO doesn't mean program director.
Right. But
there's a difference.
It's just sort of seen as you're the top of the company in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, the person in charge of programming is obviously way more important for the company of black entertainment television. The entertainment part would be the more important part. But somehow at the top of this, because if you're imagining somehow the BET is empowering the black people, which it's totally not. But if it were, that the power structure would be as such as the person perceived as being the top of the company would also be black. And so yeah, that's the reason why no one's really upset about it.
Right.
It's not actually something that makes anybody angry. But it's generally, if you point that out, it'll make somebody grumpy.
On the flip side, there's probably going to be the White Entertainment Network or White Entertainment Television, WET, and the CEO will be black. That's not cool. Actually, I wouldn't care, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. If it works the other way, it's not even remotely upsetting, and I'm not sure why.
Although I guess I would trust a black person to put together a White Entertainment Television network because I don't know what we watch. I watch everything. You know what I mean? So I would want an outside perspective to put together a network of what he thinks white people watch, and I'd probably watch it.
I mean, and I don't know exactly what could you say that white people watch anyway? When you look at
Friends.
That's true.
I got you.
That's true. Friends, a show that I've watched virtually 2 episodes of.
I've not watched any episodes of Friends, but all the white people I know, and there are a few, they watch Friends.
Well, I got another one. MASH.
MASH? I love MASH, yeah.
To be clear, I don't know anybody that hates MASH.
Right.
But almost everybody that I know that's like seen MASH pretty much all the way through, they've been white. Like that's just kind of a
fair enough, yeah.
It's just a thing.
There's a guy I went to church with for forever, actually I still do, and he's a Korean War vet and he loves MASH. So I guess that is a good example of his authenticity.
Yeah,
because actual Korean War vets do like MASH, so that's good.
And also MASH is a really good show. I'm not like taking away.
No.
MASH. Just pointing that out.
Yeah, it's a very white show.
I would not put Friends in the same league as MASH. MASH is actually good. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like Friends.
See, this is the thing. In the era of diversity, there just really can't be a white show anymore. Not that that's necessarily a terrible thing, but like I can't think of any television show that's on the air right now that'd be like, that's such a white program.
Yeah, and I think that like when stuff comes out and there aren't like black people in the show or anybody of color in the show, and then people like flip out and lose their minds over it. I feel like we're kind of all the worse for that in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
because then you end up with
shoehorned.
Yeah, you shoehorn people in, and like Jerry Seinfeld was talking about it because Jerry Seinfeld's like written a lot of TV show pilots, and he's like when you make a show and you cast people, you're not thinking like racially. You just cast people and then go, okay, these are the people that I want to be these characters.
Yeah,
and you don't really worry about it from a racial standpoint. Like when you have to start thinking about that and like start factoring that into things.
Yeah,
I think that has the possibility to take away from the entertainment value of whatever it is that you're trying to make.
I'm trying to think though about like, because I watched a lot of Seinfeld recently, and I'm thinking about like, could you make any of those characters black and have it not be seen as racist? Because Kramer, you make Kramer black, that's a problem.
That's a gigantic problem. Everyone's offended, literally everyone.
Costanza really just, I mean, I wouldn't say he can't be black, but I just don't see a black person being Costanza. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and I don't think it makes it. Like Elaine as a person, I don't know that it would have made a huge difference.
I was thinking of that. Yeah, I could see Elaine being a black lady. That would make sense.
But Jerry has to be Jerry, so like there's no.
Yeah, Jerry can only be Jerry. Jerry Seinfeld, played by Chris Rock.
Which suddenly, I want to watch that now. I did not know that was something that I needed in my life. But I actually do now.
I would actually watch Seinfeld. Chris Rock played Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld too. It's so funny. Like I had no idea a show that old could still be like topical today.
Seinfeld is a show I remember actively growing into.
Yeah.
Like I would just watch it because it was on TV, and I didn't find it funny because I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, the jokes started to land for me in a way that they didn't before. Yeah, Seinfeld is a show that is written like tremendously, and it's fantastic. Seinfeld is, I don't know if it's one of my favorite sitcoms. Yeah, it is. I think it's in my top 5. I would have to organize that in my head.
I think, when it comes to sitcoms, like, what's the definition of a sitcom? Does it have to be, like, a comedy show is different from a sitcom?
Yes, because a comedy show could even be sketch comedy.
Okay.
Shows that involve a lot of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Those are different. Sitcom is a situational comedy, and I think that comes in like a very wide variety.
Yeah.
So what we think of as sitcom is in the 90s, like your traditional, there's a family, we're in a house. But like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a sitcom.
Yeah, it is.
There's a situation, and then you just sort of add comedy to it. So yeah, sitcom is basically just a situational. Yeah.
Well, do you think Spaced counts as one, or is that just a straight comedy show?
No, Spaced counts as a situational comedy.
Okay, then that's probably my favorite because I like it a lot. It's very me.
We've been watching it, and I hadn't seen it before. That show is hilarious.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
The part with, like, Brian's my favorite character in that because he's just so, like, he's very me, so I really like Brian.
I can see that.
Like, if I were completely burned out on everything, then Brian would be me.
Like that if we pushed you to your brink.
That would be it, yeah. Yeah, like if radio finally breaks me, I'd turn into
Brian. And you just start painting everywhere and just being...
I can't paint. Well, neither can Brian, technically. No.
Yeah, like he just paints feelings.
Yeah, his paintings are literally just feelings. He's very ahead of his time when you think about it.
He got to the postmodern movement. The postmodern art movement ahead of everyone.
Yeah, seriously. So I have a theory. I was just thinking about this the other day. I have a theory about Chattanooga. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
My theory is such. I think that Chattanooga is cursed. And I have a lot of reasons for thinking this.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Okay, so, we had the tornadoes, and those were devastating, but lots of places have tornadoes. That could be a coincidence. That was back in 2011. Then things started to go downhill from there. We had the wildfires last year and this year, and that was a little bit worrisome. Then we had, severe storms, and we had a lot of equipment go out here at the radio station. Then a building fell down day before yesterday. And it was yesterday. Yesterday, a building fell down kind of out of nowhere.
The cheeseburger.
Yeah, I was there, by the way.
Were you?
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, no. I suppose you would have been, because did you get the audio from?
Yeah.
You interviewed somebody. Yeah. I heard the news report on that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I actually drove down there, and I have a story about that too. And then now tonight we're gonna have really severe storms with high winds and all these other things. So I think that Chattanooga might actually be cursed.
Okay. To add to your point here, I looked out the window in the middle of my show.
Scary, isn't it?
The sports show that comes on before this one. And the rain was coming down sideways out of the sky.
Yes, that should not happen.
Yeah, that is the single most cursed thing I have ever seen in ever.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
It was really bizarre. It was not coming down 100% sideways.
Yeah,
but it was at a very, very hard angle.
It doesn't help that there's debris, because it's just now starting to be spring, so you have a lot of pollen and blooming things that are blowing across our parking lot. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, somehow Chattanooga is going to be the start of the Wizard of Oz. We're just going to have a tornado come and just sort of carry the house away.
Yeah. Carry our office away. Just our office, not the rest of the building, but just this portion. It's going to get sucked out from the bottom floor and then tumble away. And as it would be, I would be the only person here. I'd be sleeping in the back. I'd take a nap for 3 seconds, and then the building gets swept away. That's something that would happen to me anyway, though.
Yeah. Minus the curse. Maybe you're cursed.
I think that might be it. I may very well be cursed.
That might be the plot twist here, is that if you were somehow in Boston, Chattanooga would be fine, but then Boston would be in danger.
Right, yeah. I would go to New York, and then something terrible would happen. I go to Canada, and then something terrible would happen. No matter where I wowould go, something terrible would happen.
Right, you go to LA, and then it just falls into the ocean. And
I would be okay with that, actually.
Yeah, but you would also be there.
I'd be okay with that. Subsea culture led by me.
There you go.
Except I can't swim, so that might be a little bit of a problem, but oh well.
Yeah, only sort of, though.
Yeah, just a little bit. If I get oxygen tank, I can walk around, no issue. Pressure might kill me, but that's okay.
Details, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Minor details.
Pedantics, who cares?
So I'm sort of subscribing to your theory here.
See? I'm telling you, man.
I'm just yeah, no, this might be a real thing.
This city, either I or this city are cursed, and because I'm always here, by consequence, the city is also cursed. I eat at Cheeseburger pretty often, actually.
Really?
Every year. Yeah, every year my family goes there for somebody's birthday. That's just how it is. And I was there on the 17th of March. And it collapsed on the 29th of March. Now, that's just over 10 days. That worries me. So I'm afraid I may have accidentally cursed the building and
possibly.
made it fall.
It's very possible. Another thing that happens in Chattanooga very frequently is that we just have violent and random winter storms.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah, where we have 2 feet of snow and nobody knows why. Yeah. And then the next day it's sunny, and again nobody knows why. And I remember last year the weather, we had the weather forecast, and the prediction was, this weekend we're gonna have a terrible storm. I remember because I went to the grocery store, I bought a bunch of food, and I planned to just stay in my house. And then nothing happened. Then literally the next week, when we're all okay, it's fine, then the storm comes.
Yep.
And I got into an accident. So this is either a Chattanooga thing or a you thing, but one of the something.
I'm sorry.
Something is cursing this entire area, and I don't know why.
If you live in Chattanooga or just broader Hamilton County, and you are constantly being subjected to very unfortunate events, I'm very sorry. It's probably my fault, actually. But hey, it's good for the business because I am the news director. So if terrible things happen, I report on them.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I'm I'm like Hunter S. Thompson. I make the news too.
You can make the news without making it up.
I've been actually reading his books very thoroughly, and I really like his writing. He's really dang good. So if you're a young person, if you've never read Hunter S. Thompson, you really should read Hunter S. Thompson because he's really funny, and he has a cool perspective on stuff.
And he's pretty irreverent too. Like things that people hold in high regard, Hunter S. Thompson does not hold in high regard.
Like politics.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get my hands on a copy of Fear and Loathing in the Campaign Trail 1972 because it's actually like required reading for political science in several schools. Yes.
Okay.
And journalism too.
I might read that as well. I've never read that one either.
Which have you read? Have you read anything of his?
Just individual short stories.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. I like never a whole book or anything.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of the Rum Diary right now, and I really like that. The movie is very faithful as far as I can tell. It's a Johnny Depp movie. It's pretty dang good. I don't remember a whole lot of it. The only part I remember is when he does LSD. I've not gotten there in the book yet.
Oh yeah, no, he's pretty great. For me, I'm kind of picky about like where I start in a person's writing because I don't necessarily read a person in order.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of by committee, I guess, because I'll ask people usually online, like, "Hey, I want to read this writer. Where do I start with them?" And some people will ask you to start with their best, or ramp you up in their writing style, or maybe you do read it chronologically. Like, there's lots of different ways to get into a writer.
Yeah.
And like, really, it doesn't even just apply to books, like movies too.
Yeah, that's very true.
The order that you watch movies in is entirely up to you, but I think it does affect how you sort of perceive the person making the thing.
Ridley Scott, I was just thinking, was the opposite is like the opposite of most directors, where his early stuff is really good and his later stuff is sort of lacking in some regards.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird how that works out.
I don't know if it's necessarily, because I don't know if, especially when it comes to movies and directing, like I don't know if it's necessarily one of those things where the more you are successful, the bigger your budgets get, and the more studios are going, hey, put this in here, and put this in here, and put this in here, and then you end up sort of losing your vision more frequently later in your career than earlier.
And the bigger a budget you have, the less creative you have to be when it comes to your effects and other things.
Because usually when you are creative, it's to get around the fact that you don't have a budget, which is one of the things I actually read a Christopher Nolan quote where he was like, where people ask him, like, is he ever going to have a budget big enough? And he's like, no. Like, you're always sort of pushing the boundaries of your budget. And that's how you stay creative, is no amount of money is ever enough. Like, I will push this money as far as it could possibly go, and until I present myself with some limitation that I have to overcome.
It's funny, actually, that you mention Christopher Nolan, because we actually mentioned Interstellar earlier. I just read, like, 5 minutes before we went on the air, I read a guy saying that Matt Damon in Interstellar, and you've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Matt Damon in Interstellar did not know that they were filming a movie.
Wait, what?
Matt Damon in Interstellar was just being himself, and they had to film him. That's just Matt Damon being Matt Damon.
He's just frequently in a suit.
He's just frequently in a space. They're just like, here, Matt, put this on it. Okay. He puts on the spacesuit, and he's like really would be homicidal towards like all the different actors. The part with the airlock, he really would do that.
He really actually would do that. Like, Matt Damon is just actually a gigantic jerk. There's nothing you can do about it.
I can see that two ways. Like, he is and he isn't. You know what I mean? Like I can see Matt Damon as being a huge D-bag, but on the other hand, he could totally not be. Like, all this charitable stuff makes me think he's not, but the fact that he's a famous actor makes me think he might be.
Right. Or a guy like Mark Wahlberg, who's probably closer to the line of being a D-bag because of, like, when he was younger, all of like the racist stuff that he said that people just sort of pardon him for because he's from Boston. Like, that makes it okay.
I mean, he was a kid too, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't like hold it against him, but at the same time, it's like, if you could be that, then it's not impossible to think that, like, you've just gotten to be a richer version of that.
Or maybe your worldly experiences have changed you. Who knows?
Those are the only two options. So,
maybe his best friend's Vietnamese now. Who knows? Who knows?
For me, I will always have his rap career, though, to laugh at.
So, I love it. I love Marky Mark almost as much as I love Snow. Who is like, if you think Eminem is good, listen to me. You need to look up Snow and the song Informer by Snow. It is the best rap song that has ever been made by any man ever.
It's the definitive rap song.
It is. And, you know, people always go on about, oh, I know rap. And I say, well, have you heard Snow by Informer or Informer by Snow? And they're like, oh, no. Like, well, then you don't know rap, my friend. You can talk about your Far Side, your Kanye West, your Biggie Smalls. Forget it, man. If you don't know Snow, you don't know rap.
Get out of here with your Jurassic 5.
You can't rap about rap if you're talking about all this, you know, ooh, Chance the whatever. I don't care. You haven't heard Snow. Get out. The best rapper ever.
Get out with your Lupe Fiascos and your Kendrick Lamars.
You can keep your Kendrick Lamars and his weird album covers with people on the White House lawn. I have Snow Informer.
People on the White House lawn beating up Obama, specifically.
Yeah, kind of disturbing, actually.
Well,
that was it. Jeez.
It's time for us to walk out of Rome again.
Conius, Gionus, lead us out.
Straudius, two millennius sisters talking.
Two millennius.
See y'all next week.
Bye.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.